Hello everyone, welcome back to another Commander review for Magic the Gathering. Today, we are talking about Ayumi, the Last Visitor, who is a legendary spirit. It's a 7/3 and it has a mana value of 5, 3 generic and 2 green mana. And it has one keyword ability, Legendary Landwalk, which if you don't know, you're not able to see it on this card right here, but Legendary Landwalk is this creature can't be blocked as long as defending player controls a legendary land. So if they have Yavimaya to make everything forests, Yavimaya itself is a legendary land. So if your opponent has a Yavimaya in play under their control, then Ayumi can attack that player without being blocked, which is really cool. I think Landwalk is a very powerful, but I think it could go for maybe some love and affection, because we haven't seen Landwalk in a long time. I think it'd be cool to have some semblance of Landwalk back. But overall, this is just a let your opponents play their lands, let them play their cool big lands, and then take advantage of that by hitting them with a giant, beefy commander that will take them out in at least 3 hits, which is very fast. No card rulings for this commander. Just make sure that your opponents have legendary lands, which again is a little tough because it relies on your opponents doing things, not necessarily you. But we're going to see if we can find a way around that. First, a way to get around that particular difficulty of legendary lands, which again, I say it's a difficulty because you do have to rely on your opponents to have and control legendary lands. However, there's so many legendary lands that get printed in Magic, especially recently, that I don't see why your opponents wouldn't be running some legendary lands in their decks. However, if you have an opponent in your playgroup that doesn't run legendary lands, they're most likely running non-basic lands regardless. So Trailblazer's Boots is a great way to get around the legendary restriction of your commander, because, as I said earlier, your opponents will have non-basics. It's kind of essential to building a commander deck, is having non-basics that help support the deck in some way, shape, or form. And Trailblazer's Boots gives the equipped creature non-basic Landwalk, so as long as it's not a basic land, now your commander can Landwalk still, which is very, very cool. A popular deck idea on EDH Rec really emphasizes on utilizing this Landwalk ability by going Voltron. Whether that's equipment, whether that's one-time use instant sorcery buffs, or whether that's enchantments, or whether it's a mix of all three. When it comes to Voltron, you can go a bunch of different ways, and all of them are very fun and very effective. And with green in particular, there's plenty of ways to give your commander different variations of Landwalk, which would be very, very cool and effective. A janky deck idea that I think would be fun to build around is just Landwalk Tribal. Why not have all your creatures have Landwalk? Why does it have to only be your commander that has Landwalk? The problem with this deck idea is there's not a ton of Landwalk specific cards out there, especially ones that are not creatures. And when it does come to creatures, there are very few that are vague in their Landwalk abilities. Some of them have Swamp Walk, some of them have Island Walk, some of them have Mountain Walk, which are obviously restricted to the basic land types that your playgroup has. However, I think this would be a lot of fun. This could be like a mono-green, unblockable deck if your playgroup is right for it and you can take advantage of the land types that your playgroup uses. But this would be like a mono-green, unblockable deck. I think this would be a really fun idea if we got green ninjas in the future. That would be really cool to utilize Landwalk with ninjas. Really, really awesome. But overall, I think this is more of a fun, janky build around. Definitely does not have a lot of support, but this would be a mono-green aggro deck that wants your opponents to have a variety of land types in play. And that's going to do it for Ayumi, the Last Visitor. Landwalk, unblockable, 7 power commander, so you can eliminate an opponent in 3 hits, which is very fast clock if they have a legendary land. If they don't have legendary lands, though, put some boots on Ayumi and let them land walk that way and take your opponents out. Fortunately, there's a lot of different ways you can take this commander, most of which is going to be focusing around the Voltron aspect of really beefing up Ayumi. However, because it's Voltron and because it's so simple and straightforward, there's a lot of different deck ideas you can build around with this commander. A lot of different deck ideas, which is why this commander has the ranking of S. Really, really cool stuff. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think, if there's anything I missed or I didn't talk about, but that's going to do it for this video. I'm excited to play this commander. I would love to see, like I said earlier, some way to take advantage of the unblockable aspect of Ayumi outside of just being a strong, beefy Voltron commander. Like I said, it'd be cool to have like a Landwalk tribal and really benefit from the fact that your creatures are potentially unblockable, like with ninjas. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Definitely enhance and spice up the game experience from just generic aggro, which is very good, very effective, but for me, can get boring after a while. So thank you guys again. Thank you guys for all your patience as I'm trying to get these videos out. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!